Well, hello there. Hi, hello, good evening, and welcome to the final episode of Order Up, a 5th edition campaign set in the city of Zobeck, focused on food and the serving of food. My name is Rudy Basso. I am the dungeon master for today, and never again, but my pronouns are he, him. And that's it. I have a question for everyone, starting with me. Based on tonight's adventure, what is either the best wedding food you've ever had, or what do you think the best wedding food would be? What would you serve as the best wedding food? For me, one of my very close friends had his wedding in a brewery. And it wasn't just the food, which was like really high class, nice bar food. It was in Princeton, New Jersey. Yeah, Princeton College is also there. You may have heard of it. One of the many wonderful parts of New Jersey. But they had a full like range of in-house brewed beers, which were absolutely delicious. As a big beer guy, that was quite the treat. And it was an open bar, and definitely someone drove me home that night. Okay, let's go around. Who else? What have you had? What would you have? Starting with Danny. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Hey, y'all, my name is Danny. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Bernardi or Nards or Bernie or Moo's bestie. And the best wedding food I've ever had was one of my best friends. She threw this big Indian wedding, but it was kind of a modern Indian wedding. And it was actually in our local science center. So I was eating like roti and naan and biryani and like golgappa, like by a T-Rex skull. And it was the most surreal thing. And it was absolutely amazing.
That's definitely a "this is my life" kind of moment. My life rocks kind of moment. Great. Moving along, Autumn. Oh, and yeah, Autumn. Sorry. Who are you? Hi. How are you? Who are you playing? Wedding
Hi,
question.
I'm good. I'm Autumn. My pronouns are they and she. I am playing Vera, the human ranger slash quasi-legal individual of this group. And I haven't been to a wedding since I was like 13 or 14. So I do not remember what I ate there. It was my cousin's wedding in the mountains. But I think for me, I would go like some form of like fancy like game protein, like elk or something, and definitely noodles, because it's a very traditional Chinese thing to have at weddings.
That
Lots
sounds
of noodles.
really cool. Elk and noodles. Hell
Yeah.
Moving along. Victoria. Hi. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm really well, thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Victoria, and I am playing Thule. Both of us have she, they pronouns. Thule is a bear folk, and I'm a cleric, but really, mostly what I do is make beer at our ever-changing named restaurant.
Yeah. That's right.
As for okay, so I'm totally gonna say my wedding
Oh,
because I chose the food.
of course. The best answer.
And it was really good. And it was like lemon chicken breast with grilled asparagus and Parisian potatoes. And it was very yummy.
It sounds very yummy. I'm very jealous. Finally, Lynn. Hello. Hi. How are you?
Oh, doing good. I'm Lynn, she, her, and I'm playing Delphina, the Dampierre server for the restaurant who just tries to keep orders. Also she, her. And for wedding food had to be Auntie's wedding for Hawaii plate lunch foods. Just entire clue of pig.
Really?
Spam,
That sounds
spam
fun.
fried rice, halpia. Oh, all the goods.
Macaroni salad?
Mac salad, yes.
Yes.
Macro salad, of course.
That sounds
Unhealthy, but it's the best.
really fun. Yeah. Wow. That's like the most comfort food I think possible. That's very cool. Okay, well, let's get into it. Finale time. Last week, just as a reminder, the Supreme Challenge happened. You were victorious. That's what happened. You beat the Mouse King up. He didn't stand a chance. Bear versus Mouse King, bear wins. So, Vera, last week you were not around. around for the Supreme Challenge, but you have, in your own free time, been looking into the Reptuliet lead, if you'll recall.
Yes.
Bork, the poison vendor, and Cork, the rare foods and food cart vendor, both asked you to check in on that and see or hear what you could. And you have found her. You have found Reptuliet. And not only that, you befriended Reptuliet. She's smart and crafty, and she loves the Old Margrave, which is the woods you live in. And the two of you, if you'll take her, you go hunting for plants and animals in the forest. And, well, she's just the best. You bond over this kind of thing. I would say that also, if you wanted to, or if anyone wanted to, you've attempted to contact Bork or Cork, but you've been unable to. They have gone missing, and even with everyone's combined efforts, you can't find them in Zobeck. So now, Reptuliet is engaged to a fine kobold gentleman named Kobaris. Kobaris, yes. He is a member of the royal kobold family, a nephew of Quetelmach, who is the kobold king, who you all know from our first adventure. And Reptulia and you are so close, in fact, that she has asked you to join the wedding as a bride's person. You can say no, she won't be offended. We can get to that later. And what do you know? But the day of their wedding is almost upon you. And they know that Vera works closely with the restaurant, which is currently named the Mount Ushram, I think. Is that right? The Mount Ushram is the current name of the restaurant. So they've asked the Mount Ushram to cater the wedding. Pretty standard fare, although they have asked that one of you work a hibachi station, which will be set up there. So you can all determine that. The schedule of events for the wedding goes cocktail hour first, then the wedding ceremony, then dinner and dancing. So that's what's happening later in the day. Because also, Bernardi, once again, you have received multiple invitations to visit Wellworth Rovington III at his horticulture club. And if you recall, you did agree to do so. There is a meeting this very afternoon, and his last letter said he refused to take no for an answer. So you really can't put it off any further. You feel an obligation to go. He's asked you to speak about mushrooms, and you can bring a friend if you like. And of course, you can bring Moo. He doesn't count as he's always your friend. He's always a friend. But he counts. Yeah, you can bring someone else too. The way the schedules have kind of worked out, Bernardi and guest, you'll have time to go to this meeting while everyone else sets up for the wedding, and then you'll be able to get there before the festivities really start. So, who would like to do what? Who wants to hibachi? Vera, would you be interested in being a bride's person? And
I think Vera would accept.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Great.
As long as they don't have to give a speech, they would accept.
You're bride's person number 4. You're not.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Yeah. Who wants to work the hibachi?
How much? This is an important question. How much of it is actual cooking, and how much of it is knife skills? Because that's
a lot of it.
Okay.
Hibachi's 50-50. It's about the show as well as the food.
All right.
What I mean? It's A and B. Okay, great. Delphina on the hibachi.
Bernardi waddles over to Thule and taps them on the leg and is like, "So I have this mushroom convention I have to go speak at. But I really don't want to go. But they might have some ingredients that you could use for the bar if you would accompany me."
Oh, well, you don't have to bribe me. I would love to go.
Well, the bribe is to get me in and out as fast as possible, so you might have to follow some of my lies.
I see. I'm what we call your wingman.
Wing bear.
Yes.
Wing bear.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'd be delighted. We do have to be back at the restaurant to cater the wedding, so that makes sense.
We'll make it quick.
We'll see. Okay, so yes, so the yeah, sure. The wedding is happening at the restaurant too. Good call, Thule. That makes things way less confusing for Rudy. Great. So yes, the hibachi is called in from offsite and set up in front of you, Delphina, and the owner gives you a quick rundown, and he shows you, I mean, you've seen a hibachi before. You get the food on the thing, and you do the knife, but he says, it heats up special, and then he opens like a little drawer, like a cabinet underneath the stovetop. And he says, "This is Ralph." And a fire drake looks up to you and like smiles in a fire drake way. He has been trained and he's domesticated to keep the hibachi hot. Now, to make it hotter, you have to say, "Oh, Ralphie, please, would you turn up the heat for me?" That's what he responds to. You have to say it like that. And you have to say it in like a sing-songy voice. See, I said it normal. He didn't do anything. So why don't you go ahead and give it a test run?
You just see like this whole thing at Delphina's like face is like, Ralphie, please turn up the heat for me, please.
Oh, you have to mean it when you say it, though. He doesn't listen. If he can tell when you don't mean it, you need to mean it.
Ralphie, please turn up the heat for me.
And you hear, and fire starts to go up, and you can see almost immediately, like there's some butter on the hibachi, and it starts to sizzle. And he says, "All right, and now if you want to make it cooler, you have to say, 'Oh, Ralphie, please, would you cool things down for me?'" Okay, so why don't you give that a go as well?
Oh, Ralphie, please, could you turn down the heat? What was it? Sorry,
cool things down for me.
Oh, Ralphie, please, could you cool things down for me?
And
he smiles and
you
he
can
gives
see...
a thumbs up. But it's like the smile doesn't reach the eyes, sort of.
He doesn't notice. He doesn't mind. He loves it, and he stops breathing fire, and then gives you a big happy Drake smile, and then puts his head down and takes a nap. And yeah, so that's how the hibachi works. Pretty straightforward. It's obviously kind of like a weird phrase that usually doesn't happen in conversation. So I'm sure nothing will cause him to get hotter or colder as the evening goes on. Meanwhile, the Zobeck Horticulture, Agriculture, and Arboriculture Club are meeting in Crown Square in the beautiful park there, which is called Middle Park. Like Central Park, get it? Yeah, Middle Park. The chairs have been set up in a cute little semicircle, and everyone's sitting and kind of just having side conversations when you two arrive. Now, Wellworth Throvington III is delighted to see you, Bernardi. He comes over and he shakes your hand heartily, and he goes, "How are you? How are you? How are you, my friend?"
Bernardi just kind of looks up at Thule and's like, where am I supposed to be speaking?
Oh, in a moment, we'll get to that. Don't you worry. But I just wanted to know how you're doing. Well, you, Thule? Yes, well, I remember you.
I am well. Thank you very much for inviting us.
The pleasure is all mine, most certainly. You are one of the most... I don't have to stand here and speak of your accolades. They're self-explanatory. Everybody knows you in town. Now,
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yes. So he takes you over and he introduces you. Everyone kind of nods in approval, except for one person, Bartholomew Brigantine Esquire, who you last encountered trying to steal your mushrooms. Does everybody remember that? He tried to steal mushrooms during the mushroom shortage, and Thule gave him a little kick in the bum, and he was on his way. Now, Wellworth smiles as you enter this semicircle, and he says, "So, we thought we'd have a fun little competition to start the meeting today. I have hidden 20 mushrooms throughout Middle Park. Now, whoever finds the most wins and doesn't have to speak in front of the entire group." as opposed to how it normally goes, where everyone speaks individually, guests excluded, he says, looking at Thule. Unless you'd like to speak about whatever you wish. You're a guest, the floor would be yours. So, on the count of 3, we'll begin. 1, 2, and let's jump back to Vera, getting ready as bridesperson for the wedding. You're helping Reptuliet get into her dress. You know, you're doing kind of little help bridesmaidsy things. You're watching as the hair person does her hair. It's good. Looks good. You approve.
Definitely keeping an ear out for any gossip about Cork and the other one.
So you do hear. So the rest of the bride's people are like cousins and, you know, closer family members, and you do hear one of them mention. You hear orc. You can't quite hear that first letter, but you definitely hear a bork. And then some of the other ones like immediately shush her up. Like, stop, don't mention that name. Don't mention that name. But, you know, there's some other stuff that you can do to help out Delphina and the rest of the staff too. So, you know, maybe you take a moment to help set up a table or something, and then you hear, psst, psst, hey, Vera, hey.
Vera like looks around trying to find where this voice is coming from.
You can't quite spot where the voice is coming from. If you give me an investigate check and you roll very well, you roll, well, let's roll off. Okay, yeah, you can't quite pinpoint where the voice is coming from. You rolled a 9, I rolled a 13 on stealth check. The voice goes, "It's me, Cork. I sold you the food cart. Remember? Can you hear me?"
Yeah, I can hear you. Where are you?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
But Reptuliet, she's my love, and I won't let some kobold royalty take her away from me. At least not before having an honest and open conversation in which I speak my feelings, but also in which I listen, because communication is the most important of any relationship, romantic or otherwise.
I mean, I can respect that, yeah.
Good. That's really, yes, good. I'm glad we agree there. But I'm going to make my move at some point tonight, and I need your help. Can you make sure that no one touches or messes with the big dumb flower display? And you look up, and at the end of the row where the marriage vows and talky bits are going to be happening, behind that, there is a really, the only way to put it is big dumb flower display. It's kind of like a wall of flowers that's been set up. It would make for a great hiding spot, you think, with your background in rangering.
Yeah, sure. Just as long as if this goes south, you keep my name out of it.
You won't be involved whatsoever.
Okay, so keep flower display intact. Got it.
Keep flower display intact. Great.
Yeah. I'm gonna regret this later, aren't I?
No! You're gonna be a hero! We'll name our first child after you.
Please don't.
You can't stop me. There's no legal way for you to stop me, I don't think.
Okay, well, you know,
right?
just so you're aware, I'm also happy to die in obscurity.
Oh, jeez. That got dark. All right. Goodbye! And then you feel as though his presence has left you. Not 3 or 4 minutes later, Vera, you hear another voice. Psst. Vera!
Yeah.
Vera! Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Vera! It's me, Bork.
Oh no. Yes.
Do you want to try and look for him again?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
We'll try to.
Ooh. He rolled a 19 versus your 5. Still a mystery! Vera, Reptuliet is my love, and I won't let some kobold royalty take her away from me. At least not before having an honest and open conversation with her in which I speak my feelings, but also in which I listen, because communication is the most important aspect of any relationship, romantic or otherwise.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Thank you. I'm going to make my move at some point tonight, and I need your help. Could
Mhm,
you
mhm.
make sure that no one touches or messes with the ice sculpture in the fountain in the middle of the restaurant? And you see a bunch of kobolds are setting up a fountain in the middle of the of the restaurant. All the tables have been cleared out, and there is a big ice sculpture of like a lizard person reaching out towards the sky, like to grasp their future.
All right. Yeah, sure. Just if things go south, make sure we don't know each other.
Who are you?
Exactly.
Yes, but you're Vera. I know, because I'm going to name my first child after you.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And my second, third, and fourth.
That's going to get very confusing very quickly.
You probably, but that's okay. That's how much in debt I'd be to you.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Make sure the ice sculpture stays intact. Deal.
Deal. I shake your hand, but I won't be seen. And then you feel his presence leave you as well. Back to Middle Park. Looking around. Oh, 3! Throvington says, and he throws his hand up and sparkly bits come out of his hands. The classic Zobeckian start of the competition gesture, magic gesture. And looking around, the two of you see several possible places where mushrooms may be hiding. There is a cute little pond to the west. There's a statue of the founders of Zobeck to the east and like a little grove around it. There's a garden filled with flowers to the south. And there's a bunch of spooky trees to the north. Who would like to go where? Would you like to stay together or split up?
Well, what we can do, you go that way, I'll go this way, and then we'll just put them all in your basket.
Ooh.
Great idea. And Bernardi starts waddling off towards the creepy trees.
Creepy trees. Okay. Where does Thule go then?
Oh, I wouldn't mind going down to. You said there was a pond?
There was a pond. Yes, there's
go
some.
down to the pond. It's nice and moist down
Yeah,
there.
there's ducks, and you see some geese waddling about as well. Lots of waddling going on in Middle Park, from dwarves and ducks alike. Okay, let's start with Bernardi. Make me an investigation check. So, wait, what did you say? You said you're going to the creepy trees, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Make me a perception check.
Okay. Could I cast Tree Speak real quick, or is this a part of me finding this mushroom?
No, this is not actually. This is a
Okay.
separate perception check.
Okay.
But I'll let you cast Tree Speak as you are on your way over to the trees. What is Tree Speak?
Tree Speak. Hold on, let me see.
I can take a guess, but I would like the specifics.
So I have to touch a tree, and then I can ask it one question about anything that might have happened.
Okay, yeah.
And I pretty much speak to the tree, but it says the trees do not have a human sense of time, so the tree might answer with something that happened last night or 100 years ago.
Oh, that's fun.
The sensation you may receive includes sight, hearing, vibrations, or smell from all the perspectives of a tree.
Okay, cool.
Also, it says trees are particularly attracted to or attentive to anything that which may harm the forest, and always reports that type of activity when questioned.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but just a regular perception check now.
Yeah, well, let's say you touch the tree first, and this goes off, so you can ask it a question beforehand. I've rolled a die to determine what might be possibly answered.
Bernardi would ask if he would probably just ask, has any shady character dropped off any mushrooms?
The tree says, in your mind, yes. A man dropped off mushrooms not 1 hour ago, but also 3 shady men were here talking earlier about poisoning mushrooms to make a dwarf look stupid. That is what I know.
Bernardi pats the tree and casts druid, uh, druid craft, and a little flower, like the little badges he's been giving everybody. He's like, "Thanks, tree." And he's actually
Thank
kind of
you.
fuming right now.
Oh,
And he's just his waddle has become a stomp waddle,
oh no.
and he's just like, Bartholomew, what try to steal my mushrooms. So he just kind of grumbles on, and then he's just going to look for these mushrooms.
Yeah, so give me a perception check with advantage now, or investigate check with advantage, I'd say.
Okay.
Don't have time to argue perception and investigate. That's a much longer argument from Rooney.
19.
Hell yeah. Okay, yeah. So you find 2 kinds of mushrooms, and it's one of those things where, like, the spots on this one are like a little bit bigger than the other one. They're practically identical. But looking at both of them, you can tell that one of them is poisonous to the touch. So if someone were to take them out of their basket and touch them, then they might be poisoned in some way.
So I think what Bernardi would do, he'd grab the regular mushroom and then take a little handkerchief and then wrap it up and have Moo hold it.
Nice.
And just, he has the thing wrapped up, and then he would probably try to waddle back over to Thule to tell Thule about this trio that has been messing with things.
Sure. Speaking of, Thule, you have walked over to the pond with the ducks and the geese, and they're honking and quacking away.
Oh,
And-
honk, 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 quack, quack, quack. Honka, honka, honka.
Is that a thing? Do you speak geese? Do you speak geese?
No,
No.
but
Okay.
I truly is, regardless.
They kind of swim away from you because you're a scary bear. But I mean, that's just part of being a scary bear, unfortunately. Cool. So why don't you go ahead and give me an investigate check as well to search for mushrooms?
May I use perception or survival?
You may use any of the 3. Whoa! 23. Yeah, you're able to find mushrooms very quickly. You get like a handful of them. You don't notice if any of them are poison or not. Maybe nah.
I'm
don't
not
notice.
suspecting.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just like,
You're not
there's mushrooms lying around. This
Yeah.
must be them.
And I think there are a lot of them for you to collect, and Bernardi reaches you and says,
Hey, Thule, do you remember when I was trying to gross the mushrooms and Moo just kind of like giggles and like throws a little mushroom
that was
and you had to be a bear when you were trying to just clean things. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. There was that gentleman I had to escort out of the premises.
Yeah, so I went to the creepy woods, and they weren't actually that creepy. I think the trees are just misunderstood. However, I think that Bartholomew is trying to mess with us again. And he points up at Moo, and he's like, there are actually poisonous mushrooms out here, and I think we're trying to be duped.
Oh, poisonous. What about these? And I show all the ones that I gathered.
they're all good.
They're all good. Yeah, so I guess across the land he has plotted some poisonous ones, and I know this was supposed to be quick, but I honestly don't want anybody to get hurt.
Oh, that's understandable, especially since they're all gathered to hear talk to you.
So I'm assuming there's other people out here looking for mushrooms.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a way that I can waddle back to Wellworth and?
So before you do that, both of you make an Arcana check for me.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. All right. What did you get, Bernardi? Just out of curiosity.
5.
5. Okay. So the geese and the ducks, which had previously swam and waddled away from you, Thule, have now formed a kind of square. You can feel magic emanating off of them, and they are making angry honks at the two of you, and they start like marching towards you, honking and quacking respectively.
Oh, well, I know the square is a very effective military.
It's true. Cavalry don't stand a chance against the square.
But, oh dear. Did I say something rude when I greeted them?
I could hear you from the woods. You were honking pretty loud.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. I'm gonna go this way now. Excuse me. I start going away from the ducks.
Okay, yeah. They chase you like it's Goose Game. With like with their arms back and they're flapping and they're chasing you. You feel magic coming off of them.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I think at this point you just see Thule running around the park, being chased by geese and ducks.
Bernardi wouldn't even care. He's still waddling back to try to find Wellworth.
Yes. So Wellworth is like clapping happily like a child, watching everybody run around and pick the mushrooms. He's just having a blast. He's having a ball. He loves the club. He loves that he made this cute little event. He loves that everybody's having fun. He's just having a fun time.
And Bernardi kind of waddles up and throws the mushrooms on the ground. And it's like, Wellworth, I know I didn't seem excited about this event. And I don't really understand why I'm here. I told you the secret ingredient was love. However, someone's trying to sabotage your event.
They really are. There's someone has magicked all of these geese.
Those geese seem unnormally aggressive, although geese in general, not the friendliest of bird folk, one might say.
They made a square, Wellworth.
Oh my goodness, they've learned military tactics. We don't stand a chance if they organize like this in the future.
And then Bernardi would tap his hat and be like, Moo, show him the evidence. And then Moo opens up the handkerchief and just shoves it into Wellworth's face.
Why, this is the 3-spotted death shroom. Everybody knows this is... these looked very much like the 3-spotted life shrooms that I planted. Oh, my dear. We must get to the bottom of this immediately. But first, we teleport back to the other group. And so there has been a staff... So normally, you have staff, you have a handful, you have Twinkly, the halfling. I'm trying to remember. Victoria, do you remember the name of the halfling barback? I think it was Twinkly or something. Twinkles?
Something like that.
Or Tiddlywinks, maybe?
Tiddlywinks. It was Tiddlywinks.
Yes. So Tiddlywinks is obviously going to be there for the wedding, but in addition to that, there's mostly kobolds who've been brought in as like a catering service hired by Reptuliet and Kobaris. And they're setting up. They seem very competent in what they're doing when suddenly one of them stops and looks out the window, and then the other ones stop and they also look out the window, and you can hear a fun trumpety tooting in the distance. And then they all start like laughing and dancing around and saying, "We know Workday! We know Workday! Ha ha ha!" And then they just like sit on the floor. And you and Vera and Cleef and Raymundina all know what that means. We know Workday is a special holiday declared by the Kobold King that can happen at any moment, that can happen at any day of the year, where all kobolds know work. They know Workday. And it just so happens that it is today, moments before the wedding. And Reptuliet, hearing this commotion, comes out and looks at you, Vera, with pleading eyes and says, "What do we do?"
Vera is just going to kind of look at Delphina like, well, I guess we're catering too.
Of course.
That's fine. Raymondina will love having this many guests to cook for, I think.
Yeah. I hope that the hibachi can take it.
I'm sure it'll be fine. We did all right cooking for the kobolds last time, so we'll just have to
No assassin this time, hopefully.
hope. No, don't jinx it.
It's already a wedding.
Yeah, just one moment, and Vera will turn back to Reptilia and be like, "Just don't worry, we'll take care of it. Just go and finish getting your hair and your makeup and like your scales shined or whatever is going on, and just enjoy the day, and we will make sure that it goes off without a hitch."
We have hired the most expensive scale shiner in all of Zobeck. I'm happy you noticed.
Yes, of course. How could I not? You will be radiant, and we will be sure to provide an event that suffices and amazes.
I will literally be glowing, she says, and then she turns back to go finish getting dressed.
Okay. Before we go back to anything else, like setting up and cooking and stuff, Vera goes over to Delphina and is like, "Okay, so you remember those two lizard folk who are in love with Reptuliet? Both of them are here somewhere."
What?
Yeah, I don't know where. I couldn't find them. But
They're not going to do the thing, are they?
No, they're both planning to do a thing.
The thing, not the...
I don't know what. Just Cork is going to come out of the flowers and Bork is going to come out of the ice sculpture. I don't think
Wait, what?
they know
How?
each other are here. I don't know.
She looks at the ice sculpture. Is like, is he in there?
I really hope not, but probably.
That thing's been there for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just told to make sure nobody messes with the flowers and nobody messes with the ice sculpture. Yeah.
Are you?
And now that the kobolds aren't working, I just feel like somebody's definitely going to.
Are we going to let this happen?
I don't know. I really think that the people they need to talk to is each other, not Reptuliet. So maybe we can just engineer that instead.
They're definitely not going to do that. Being inside the ice sculpture and being inside whatever flower wall thing is over there.
God, it's hideous, isn't it?
It's
so
just bright.
Yeah, it's just like
it's like looking at the sun, and
the flowers don't complement each other whatsoever. It's like really garish and yeah, it's very off-putting. Yeah. But you would never say that to Reptulia.
No,
of course not. No,
obviously.
Okay. It's their their wedding.
Yeah, it's not my wedding. It's fine. Well, I guess we better break the news to Cleef and Raymondina. Oh God, Cleef is going to have an aneurysm. Should we just knock him out?
Best thing is just go in and act like everything's normal. Just don't tell Cleef that it's an emergency, because
yes. Yeah, that's true.
It's not going to change anything. He's just going to be more stressed.
This is true. And it's not really an emergency. Come on, we have time, and I'm sure the kobolds brought supplies that we can use.
I mean, they'll at least be fed, so that'll be at least something.
Yes.
And maybe they'll be tired once they're fed. Who knows?
I hope so.
Cool. So the plan was that there would be like a dozen kobolds. There's a term for this. The walking appetizers. What is that? Does
like
anyone
hors
know?
d'oeuvres?
Yeah, like the walk around hors d'oeuvres. But now they've all refused to work.
Tiddlywinks.
Yeah, you've got tiddlywinks. But Cleef comes out and goes,
Cleef. Shh. Everything's fine. Everything's
We've got
normal.
It under control.
This happens at every wedding for kobolds. Every time.
The staff refuses to work?
Tradition.
Yep.
Make a persuasion check, either of you.
Perception. I am.
Or if you've got another charisma-based check that you can think of,
Just
I'll
straight
take
up
that.
lying to him.
What'd you roll?
Crit.
What? 29 deception. Yeah, this is deception. And
Mhm.
oh man, and Vera got a 21 persuasion.
Yeah.
Okay, between the two of you, you can definitely calm him down.
We've worked in this restaurant on like
Mm-hmm.
this is
We're
like,
well practiced.
Okay. We can cover the food aspect, we can bang out these hors d'oeuvres. A lot of the prep is already done. Just we need you two can come up with a way to serve everything. I guess you can self-serve. Is that a thing? Do kobolds care if they serve themselves, or is that a Zobeck entrepreneurial spirit? Take it upon yourselves to get your own appetizers before the wedding. Does that make sense? He's looking at you.
It's fine. They're
fine.
all going to be drunk off the cocktails,
Drunk off the cocktails.
and then they'll eat, and then they'll just be out. It's going to be
Just
fine.
put enough
If anything,
food.
we'll.
Was it?
Oh, Bernardi isn't around.
Put
But
more
we could try asking the pixies to help us
alcohol.
as well.
Oh, the pixies! Yeah. Let's roll the food cart out, and then I'll put it near the fountain. Yeah. I'll put the food cart near the fountain
Maybe
and
not
the
in the
ice
fountain.
sculpture.
Oh no.
And then the pixies, we can put some of the food on the food cart, and then the pixies can help serve everyone.
Yes, just not near the ice sculpture. If it falls over, then it ruins the investment of our food cart, and also the heat might ruin it. Magical interference, because the ice sculpture is obviously magic, so that it doesn't melt in here. It is summer, after all, I believe, or autumn, or whatever. It's
Fair.
warm enough.
Which
And
one-
the magic of the pixies in the food court, that wavelength interference, never a good time.
Which one
Remember how
was-
that wing of the college got leveled?
Oh, yes. Terrible incident.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
Bernardi's favorite one, I think, still has the rock. We should probably keep that one away from the ice sculpture.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
Moo. Yes. He does have that rock. God, does he love that rock. Goes the love, it goes Bernardi, rock, pixie brothers. That's how much he loves that rock. The point where he loves it more than his own family. But anyway, all right.
I
That's
think if we set the food cart next to the bar, it's really easy to get your drinks. and
Oh,
your
drinking
food.
drinking nosh. You can
I mean,
Yeah.
have
The
a drink.
pixies know what to do, at least if there's nothing convenient to get distracted by, so it should be fine.
Yes.
Yes,
All
exactly.
right. Sounds good. A good deal. And he shakes your hands. It's kind of
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just
Yes.
Yes, I'm Cleef. Okay. Really out of it. Back to the competition. Yes. He has a triangle for some reason. That's the kind of what they'd use. Yep, the musical instrument, and he goes ding 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 ding. Everyone come hither. Come hither. I have terrible news to share. Terrible horticulture news. Fungi related. Come forth. And everyone comes over. Put your baskets down. And everyone go see her. And he points to another cleric among the members. Says, check with Glassina. Not looking at things on my desk. Come with the names. Check with Glassina and see if you've been poisoned. She can heal you quickly because we know. Here. And she hands the handkerchief with the poison mushroom to Glassina and says, this, they may be poisoned with this. It will make them sick with flu-like symptoms, which is a thing here in Zobeck, flu. So heal them if they have it. But everyone else, come forward. Put down your baskets. Bernardi has so bravely come forth with. Also, Tuli, you're still being chased by the ducks.
Yes, in the background you see me.
Yeah, just still.
back and forth.
Bernardi has come forth and told us about what happened. Bernardi, well, I know if you share this with the group, then the competition will be canceled completely and everyone will speak individually to the entire group. If this is what is going to happen, if you need to share what you shared with me with everyone else, and then the competition will be canceled, and everyone will have to speak individually, including yourself, unless you don't tell me what you told me earlier. So now, if you would, please, once again, tell the group what you told me.
Bernardi would just be like, do you want me to share or do you not want me to share?
Oh, of course I want you to share, but I'm just telling you that would be the consequences of you not sharing, is that everyone would have to, the competition would be canceled and everyone would have to speak individually, including yourself, who may or may not have won the competition if you did not speak. Because yes, that is what I'm saying. He's also very frazzled.
I was about to say, Wellworth, you're not a man of few words, are you?
I just want to make sure it's very clear and my point is made.
It's not clear and I don't understand your point. However, and then he just turns to the crowd. He's just like, someone is trying to sabotage the competition. Bum, bum, bum.
Gasps. Oh.
Honk, 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 honk,
Yes, honk, honk, yes.
And then Bernardi would point like magical geese in a square formation.
I've seen geese do that before. Yes, I have as well. Yes. That's not too unusual. Well, they're right. But you say that you felt magic on them, so I believe you. I believe that was magical influence.
A square formation in geese is not normal. And then he would point to Bartholomew and it's like, I honestly, is Bartholomew just in the crowd?
Yeah, he's like, oh my goodness, what is happening?
And Bernard's just like, honestly, I was just going to come here and do my speech and leave. And then there's just shenanigans going on. However, I was going to keep this to myself and Portia, but you tried to break into my garden while I was trying to grow mushrooms.
You can't prove that.
Two, you've left these poison mushrooms everywhere and you were trying to poison your own.
Oh, never! I would never do such a thing. Why? How dare you, sir? You have insulted my honor, and I challenge you to a duel.
A duel?
A duel.
What do you consider a duel?
A fight to the first blood.
That's not my style. Thule.
Wait, what?
Yes!
Wait, what? No, what?
Yes.
Glassina also waves her wand and the geese like stop chasing you and start just like, they see a small child and they start chasing the child, but not in square formation anymore, just in the classic geese gaggle of geese.
And then Bernardi
normal anger, yes.
Taps Thule's leg. It's like, I know you were just being chased by magical geese, but do you remember this person that you had to escort out?
I've never seen you in my life.
Oh, I think your backside would beg to differ.
My backside agrees with me on all matters. Because I challenged the dwarf to a duel. I did not challenge you to a duel.
Oh,
And then...
Well, see, I'm his proxy.
And Wellworth says, ha, yes, proxy may fight on behalf of one when challenged to a duel. And he looks around the group. I will choose a proxy on my behalf then. Who will step forth and defend me? Bartholomew Brigantine Esquire.
I have a really mean right hook. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
And no one responds to his request, and everyone is looking at Thule and thinking about that mean right hook connecting with their face. And they don't even really like Bartholomew Brigington Esquire, to be honest. Nobody really likes him. He's in the club because the club doesn't really kick anybody out because they're all nice. And Brigantine, who wears a top hat, I think, takes his top hat off and in a classic angry top hat wearer move, punches through the top hat. And he goes, well, fine. I don't want to be in your stupid club anyway. I'm going to make my own club that has a shorter and better name. And then we're going to make mushrooms too. And our mushrooms are going to be better. And so take that. And then he storms off out of the park back to wherever he lives, the Brigantine Estate. And Wellworth turns to the two of you and says, both of my rich guy voices are exactly. I have one rich guy voice. So this is a new character speaking. This is the other character. Good rich guy is speaking now. I cannot thank you. I've been trying for years to get him to leave the club voluntarily because he's right. We don't turn anyone away. You'd be surprised at the lack of interest sometimes in horticulture. So it's we have an accept all kind of style of doing things here. But with that, I think maybe he is finally gone for good. So I am truly in your debt. But since the competition was canceled, everyone will have to speak individually about mushrooms. So Bernardi, if you could, we'd love to hear you say a few words about mushrooms and your approach to growing them and your secrets beyond just love.
Bernardi would waddle up, I guess, to a microphone stand. And he says, it's just, you water them, you talk to them, and you love on them. What else is there to know?
There's silence. In silence. Then uproarious applause for every member of the group. Yes, yes, so simple, so genius, so simple and yet so genius. That is all it needs. Have you all been listening? This is what I say. Sometimes in our quest to create the best, we get too complicated, overcomplicated. We end up going backwards instead of forwards. Bernardi, with his modesty, with his simplicity, has laid it out all for us. Sometimes you just need to let the mushrooms do what the mushrooms want to do. And you just need to be there to offer support. You need to be there to communicate with them because, as I always say, the most important aspect of any relationship is communication, whether it be romantic or otherwise. Mushroom-wise, as we say. Mushroom-mantic. One might even... I'm working on it. But yes, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure and an honor. I hear there's a wedding that I've been invited to as well. I'm going to be there too at your restaurant later on. I'm good friends with the groom and his relationship with the king of the kobolds, who is also a dear friend. So I'm excited for that. And Thule, thank you for your honesty and we're all in awe of your agility and your ability to escape from a square formation of geese, which is very, very terrifying. And in the distance, you hear honk, honk, and a child screaming.
Oh, yes, that's really awful. Speaking of that wedding, we do have to get going. We're very sorry. We wish we could listen to all of the speeches, but you know weddings.
Do I ever?
Well, we'll see you there. It will be a thrill to see you.
And you. Thank you for everything. And he shakes your hand.
Bernardi's already halfway across wherever we're walking.
The geese honk at you as you walk past. Okay, so you make it back to the restaurant, which is called what is it called again? Mount Ushroom. Mount Ushroom. And all the other preparations have been done. Guests are beginning to arrive. As I said, it starts with kind of the traditional, cocktail hour or whatever you want to call it, where people mill about and just have hors d'oeuvres and chat it up. And also, yes, so Hibachi, why don't you give me either a cooking check or a performance check?
Oh, thank God. Yep. This is going to be very flashy. Not 100% that the food's gonna be good, but everyone's gonna have a good time. 24.
Why don't you give me both? Give me a cooking check too. We'll see. Like I said, it's 50-50. We know the performance is impressive. But how is the cooking? Which is a wisdom.
Oh boy.
Survive. Okay, yeah, that works.
16.
So 24 on performance, 16 on survival. You're doing a pretty good job. You got the volcano, the onion volcano. You're flipping food into people's mouths. The food is cooked through. It's going pretty good. You think maybe you can do this for real. Maybe going well. Ralphie is he's listening to your commands. You're saying it in a way that doesn't really grab attention, probably. No one else is picking up on you saying that. It seems pretty fun. Pretty good.
Does Ralphie understand Draconic?
At a really base level. He's not very intelligent. It's kind of like a dog kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Understands the common phrases to make him, but if you were to say something in Draconic to him,
good job.
He might he might get a bigger smile on his face.
Other than the words that make him not light on fire and light on fire.
Yes.
But yeah, right now it is 100% can't stop. If I stop, I don't know what I'm gonna do at this point. Just
cool. So Bernardi, your boys are doing their thing. Your Pixie boys, they're all at the food court. There have been some hors d'oeuvres set up there, and they are also, serving. One of them, the one who's good, is Colin. He's doing his carnival barker and bringing people over to have some hors d'oeuvres, and they're delighted to see you.
Can I waddle over to the ice statue?
You may.
Okay. So Bernardi comes in and looks over at Delphine and is like, wow, she's killing it. And then walks past the hibachi station and looks up at this, what it was, a kobold reaching up for the...
Yeah, it's like a lizard folk looking towards the future triumphantly.
And Bernardi's just like, well, if they get a statue, and then he would... I think he would try to cast, let's see, I had a spell, shape water, and he would create a small ice sculpture of Moo and put the little ice sculpture right on top of the hand of this lizard king.
Okay.
And while he's doing this, can I see if there's anything weird with this ice statue?
Yeah, give me an investigate check. Yeah, investigate, because you're looking for something specific.
Yeah. 15.
Okay, yeah. As you're making the Moo sculpture appear, from within the kind of icy glassness of it, you clearly see an eye blink briefly. It's just the way the light is reflecting off of it. It's kind of opaque throughout the ice sculpture. It's not one of those pretty clear ones, but you can definitely see within in the chest region an eye blink and then open back up. It's not winking at you, it's just blinking.
Okay. So I will waddle back over to the food cart and just tell the pixies to keep an eye out on that. And if they keep an eye out on it, then I'll make ice sculptures of them as well.
Oh, what do they call you? Do they call you Daddy or something like that? Or
I think they called me Nardi.
Nardi? Okay, they call you Nardi. Yay, Nardi makes sculptures of us. And Moo's like, Nardi already made sculpture of me.
But yeah, I think Bernardi would waddle over to Thule, and it's just like, does this feel off to you? First off, Delphina is just rocking the hibachi, which is that a thing?
Yeah.
Also, look at this awesome sculpture of Moo that I made on this lizard man sculpture.
That's quite lovely.
And I don't know if I'm just stressed from the poison mushrooms, but I'm pretty sure I saw its chest blink at me.
If Farah is within earshot, she'll absolutely just walk by and be like, "Did you just say it blinked?" Because there might be a lizard folk hiding in it.
Oh, well,
Might be.
Well, okay, I couldn't find them when they were talking to me, but long story short, you remember those two cousins from down in the sewers, in the
Oh,
cartway?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They both came to me separately and were like, one was like, "Don't mess with the flowers," the other was like, "Don't mess with the ice sculpture, because we're gonna make our each one wants to make a move and declare their love and have a open conversation with Reptuliet, but also listen, because communication is an important thing of any
Most
relationship,
important
romantic
thing.
or
Most
not.
important thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I
Um,
agree with that sentiment.
I
Maybe
did too.
not the open conversation part. If they mean by open in front of everyone.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really know how to stop them, so I kind of just agreed to both of their requests, and now I'm just kind of hoping that it doesn't really go south.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not my wedding. Oh. I mean, this is what happens when you have multiple loves.
Leaf walks by and nonchalantly says, "Why, if this wedding goes south, our reputation in the restaurant would be ruined," and then walks off on his way.
Oh, well, reputation and all that. Well, then, Bernardi, would you be able to make a new ice sculpture?
I think I could. I told the pixies that I could make it of them as well. Is that a thing? Or do you want me to make it look like this lizard person?
Well, it'd be nice if you made it look like this original one. Perhaps we can decorate the rest of the place with more ice sculptures of the pixies. But yeah, and then I'll just wheel this one out.
Yeah, so Bernardi would cast Shape Water again and then look over at Vera and it's just like, you said one was in the ice sculpture and the other one's
In the flower wall, if you want a druid craft a newer and prettier flower wall, I mean, I wouldn't say no. I can just go.
Didn't the bride really like this flower wall?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I did tell her I liked it. Oh no. This is why I don't like talking to humans. Animals make so much more sense. Anyways, if we could craft a new one, maybe we can get Thule to cart this one off as well. I'll just tell Reptuliet that a couple of the flowers are starting to wilt, and so we made a new one.
Okay, I can do that. How big is this flower wall? Is it a literal wall?
Yes, stupid big would
How do we-
be my response.
How do we get that? How do we cart that away?
I don't
It
know.
came in panels, I'm pretty
It
sure.
did, yes,
so we could
exactly. They came in panels, and then
We'll
the
just,
flowers were grown around the panels in like an ivy kind of way.
Yeah, I'm sure we can fold it up, like one of those room dividers, probably squish cork or whichever one was in there as well. But maybe we can just distract the kobolds with. I wonder if Thule has any of that special honey mead left. Just distract
Ooh.
them.
Yeah, we can set it up in no, not the garden, because Bernardi will
No.
get angry.
How about outside? We have some umbrellas, I think. The
Oh,
weather's
yes, a nice patio.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes, I can do that.
Also, I was talking to Delphina about this, but she's busy with the hibachi. I really think instead of talking to Reptuliet, these two brothers or cousins or whatever just really need to talk to each other. So maybe we should just lock them in a room together and make them sort it out one way or another.
Why do they have to talk to each other? I thought they wanted to declare love for Reptuliet.
They do. And they both came to these conclusions without talking to each other, and maybe they could sort their crap out before, burdening another person with it.
Right. But, waiting until the last second really doesn't seem like a smart idea.
It really doesn't. But really not my area of expertise.
Okay, well, yeah, yeah, I can lock this in the back room.
Perfect. I mean, if it comes to blows, it comes to blows. It's fine.
Speaking of coming to blows, Thule, as you're starting to cart out the ice sculpture, 2 kobolds come up to you and kind of like push on your kneecap because they can't really push you any other way. And they say, we fight you. We tough kobolds. I Kibalt, that snake Cusio. They both seem very drunk. We tough enough to fight big bear folk person. We fight you one-on-one. We strong kobolds.
Oh, okay. Well, just one moment. I'll be right with you.
And they continue to follow you and keep like kind of pushing your leg. Like you don't even really feel it, but it's very unpleasant that they're being so hostile. It's not very nice, but they are very drunk,
Yeah.
like I said.
I'm okay. Look at this, fellows. I have a job to do, and you are in my way.
We no care. This no work day. We push you. Push.
Yeah, well, if you continue with this, it'll be no work day every day. And then you won't be able to afford anything.
No work day every day. That sounds wonderful. Push.
I pick them up by their scruff of their neck.
Ah!
And I knock them together.
Oh! Bonk. Yep. They both bonk heads and fall to the ground. And
Okay, well, time to bring this back to the back room.
you go into the back room with the ice sculpture, and everyone else hears the familiar sounds of a lute being plucked. And in walks Arthurio the Great, the lute player. And you see King Kettlemak is with him. And Arthurio says, the king has entered! The king is here! And I, the royal court jester, will sing for the king! Sing for the king! And the king has indeed entered with his royal retinue, and everyone, kobold and lizard folk alike, gives him deference and politely applauds.
I imagine that we all just kind of share a look.
Like, yeah, just like.
And for my first song,
Delphine completely stopped. Yeah.
A traditional group song in which I will sing the chorus. No, I will sing the prompt, and you will all respond back to me with the chorus. And you'll know what it sounds like. You'll know the response in a little bit when I sing it like this. Oh my dear God. Okay. And he starts singing a song about he starts singing a song about a demon, okay, who is named Ralphalamite. And he tells you about it's a song. It's a story song where the demon is wondering whether or not he still wants to live in the fiery pits of hell, and he goes along and he meets with different people within hell, and each of them gives him different advice. And every time he comes to he's leading up to the prompt, and you're able to all kind of determine that the response, and everyone's loving the song. They're clapping along. They're getting into it. The response is clearly going to be, Ralphie, please, will you, what is it? Ralphie, please, will you turn the heat up? And he's getting closer and closer, and my magic users can hear a laugh in their heads from a certain telepathic lute, and it's getting closer and closer, and he's building up. You can tell he's coming to the point where he's going to make the call and expect the response. Does anyone do anything to stop it?
I think Bernardi would first druid craft little like little cotton balls for my ears, so I wouldn't have. And then cast breathtaking wind. Can I do that?
Tell me, what is this? Let us learn.
So it is a spell where I can target a creature with a blast of wintry air. That creature must make a successful Constitution saving throw or become unable to speak or cast spells with a vocal component.
Okay. One target, one action. Okay. So this is up to 1 minute. The effects of it. If he fails, which he does. So he fails to he fails to save, and you hear him. But then the King Kobold goes, I know this song and I love it. Continue playing the lute. I will pick up the words. And then King Quetzalmac continues to sing the song. And everyone loves it. Now, anyone that wasn't going to respond knows, like, okay, well, the king is singing now, so I'm going to respond even though I don't care and I hate singing.
Vera's just there like, my magic could, you know, I can, like, rain arrows down on them, but that's about it. Don't think that that's a very good idea.
How many times would this chorus go on?
So the way the song is made,
Like
it's
multiple times?
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
You just see like Delphina like just have the most deathly stare at this at the lute, and she's just like, you know, I should have done this. I should have done this day one. Just like throws the knife down, just like walks toward the lute. I'm gonna try and snatch it.
Okay, make me a sleight of hand check. Or, I mean, this can be a straight. It's brawn boost.
Yes.
Are you being brawn boosted?
I would like to cast Brawn Boost.
Brawn boost. So I was gonna let you
Delphina.
make. I was gonna let that be a dex check to take, just because Delphina is so
Okay.
dexterous. Do you have, I don't know, like the equivalent that is for dex
Mm,
within
I
your
have-
cantrips?
no, I have Wisdom, Strength, and Constitution.
Ah, no, this. Oh well, it's up to Delphina if you want to use it as a strength thing to snatch it out of his
I can use
hands.
athletics. I can use athletics.
Okay, sure,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
works.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
your brawn is boosted.
All right, you can add a D6 to your strength check.
Yeah. I think everyone else in the group knows, like, this is the look she has when like there's someone disrupted and she gets ready to throw somebody out. All right, let's do this.
Did anyone hear that scream outside my window? It's just children playing games. Okay, if you heard that scream, he's got a pretty good Okay, not as good. Not as good. Not as good. Not as good. Okay, he rolled a 28. He rolled an 18 to kind of keep his firm grip on it, but you snatch it out of his hands, and you hear a voice in your head. Oh, ow! Whoa, stop it! It's the lute, and the music stops, and everyone looks towards you and goes, "Hey, I was singing a song," Quetzalmac says to you.
All right, well, keep singing it, and she'll look at the lutes like, this isn't your fault, by the way.
And he says,
Listen.
I shall! A cappella! La, 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 la. And he continues the song without the lute accompaniment.
Mm-hmm. And she's gonna walk back to the hibachi and just like wait for the chorus.
Okay.
She's gonna have Ralphie just light this lute on fire.
Oh no! Oh my goodness. So
She
it's like,
has
put me
this-
down, put me 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 down. I'll give you whatever
You
you
had-
want. I'll put
no,
you, please.
you had
No,
chances.
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the-
imagine you put the loot right over his
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. And yeah, the 100 kobolds and lizard folk all scream in unison. Ralphie, would you please turn up the heat for me? And there's a boom, an explosion within the lower level of the hibachi. Everything on top of the hibachi instantly scorches. But that loot, which that loot would have taken some doing to destroy, and this is some doing. It just turns to cinders, and you hear a scream in your head go, no! And you're holding the handle part of the loot? I don't know.
Yeah,
what that's
probably,
called. I
like,
don't know the
yeah.
music. But yeah, that's all that remains is some broken strings in the little handle part. So the loot is dead.
Well, I like that song. That was a good song.
And Arthurio says, does anyone have a backup loot? That one I had for many moons, and it served me well. But the talents of Arthurio, they're not tied to one specific loot. I know many a song. I play many an instrument. I am the court jester and musician. And Quetzalcoatl says, a lute! Who has a lute? And a lute is brought forth, and he plays more music, still very competently, and less pestily, we'll say, less annoyingly, less prankily.
Less malevolently.
Yes, malevolent, man. Perfect. Okay, so all this is happening. The plan, Thule bonks those kobolds on the head and gets the ice sculpture out of there. As you're doing it, you hear like a muffled, put me back, put me back. What are you doing? Put me back, put me back,
Nope.
put me back.
No.
Why? Why do you do this? Why?
Look, you can't just ruin someone's wedding.
It's over that. It's over that.
No, blah, 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 blah.
And it's still like making noises as you walk away.
Yeah, I lock the door behind me.
Meanwhile, Flower, what was the plan again for the flowers?
Break it back down into panels
Sure.
Yeah, I think Vera was
and
taking
distract
down
the
panels.
kobolds.
Yes. So
Distract the kobolds first, then dismantle and hustle the panels out of there.
it will be kind of difficult to dismantle the panels because the flowers have been grown in between and
Oh.
around and through.
Vera
them.
pulls out a knife.
Okie dokie.
There we go.
Yes. So
It's her
What do
skinning knife. It's
you-
very sharp.
sure. One of you does the distracting, and Vera will do the dismantling. Yes. So
I
does
think
that-
I have to druid craft. I don't know if I can druid craft flowers while distracting kobolds at the same time.
So I'll say that Thule can come back in time. Delphina is occupied with destroying the loot.
Can I help by making big onion volcano? For them?
Oh yeah. So you get yourself ready for the next response to the song,
Mhm.
and you set up a very big onion volcano, and you put a bunch of oil in the bottom, and you kind of cool the rest of it down. You get a Ralphie, like you can tell Ralphie to cool it down, and when the time comes, they say, what was it again? I deleted it. Ralphie, please.
Ralphie, please turn up the heat for me.
Oh, Ralphie, please turn up the heat for me. And there is a poof, another explosion of fire, and vroom, like the entire building lights up like daytime, because there's so much fire coming out of the volcano, and there's an ooh and ah, and in that time, Vera, give me some sort of dexterity check. It can be sleight of hand to quickly slice through the vines and break down the panels, or if you can think of something else that you think applies, I'm open to interpretation.
Can I use my either survival or nature knowledge to efficiently cut the weakest points of the plants?
Yes, I will let you use nature.
Perfect.
There's going to be 2 checks. Okay, yep. So everything that was making it one piece is now gone. It is now a bunch of pieces. And so make me another check to quickly and efficiently dismantle them.
Oh, I'm not good at any of these things.
I have my skill list in front of me. I should have a skill list in front of me.
I guess it would probably actually be sleight of hand.
Yeah, I think that was
Get
what.
everything
Yeah,
dismantled
sleight of
while
hand.
still doing my best.
And you do have inspiration.
And I'm still doing my best to not expose the lizard folk that I believe is somewhere within this wall.
Yeah, you hear. What are you doing? What are you? Stop it.
I'm
Sarah,
gonna
what are
use
you
my
doing?
inspiration.
Hey, we're friends. What are you
Oh, there
doing?
you go. Oof.
15. So, very good deal. Very good.
Trust me, I've got it under control. You're gonna blow it
No.
if you keep talking.
I will do this until someone stops me. Sorry, I find it very amusing to.
She just
puzzle.
raises an eyebrow and is like, "You know I mean it," and raises the skinning knife.
It's like quiet acceptance.
While Vera is dismantling this wall, to try to distract, can I bring in our August rooster from our garden?
Oh, the August rooster. Sure. The August rooster doesn't just come in, it prances in. It loves being the center of attention with all its many colored feathers and plumes, and it kind of peacock style, like, I don't even know what that's called when a peacock expands, I guess. It expands all of its feathers outwards and struts around, and the kobolds all start cheering for it. And it steps into the center of the room and does a little dance. And you all begin to question whether or not eating the August rooster back in the first session was ethical or not. And so that's happening. And then you can druid craft a new flower setup, one that doesn't have to be stuck on panels because you have that kind of control over flowers. Right? Druid, or what is the spell?
Yeah, I was just looking at it. So it says something small. So I think I would try to cast plant growth, which
Plant growth. Okay.
Could go wrong because I guess it could become thick and overgrown. So it's not as
Precise.
Yeah, as precise as Druidcraft.
So throw that up in roll 20 so we can see what it says. Channels vitality into plants within a specific area. Oh, yeah. I mean, sure, yeah. So spell save DC. There's no spell required. DC save. What? How many spell slots do you have?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. If you cast this at the highest level that you have available, so mark off whatever that is.
Okay.
I'll say that you can grow. Yeah, it may not look as nice. It may look kind of hastily put together, but at the same time, it was a big, stupid flower arrangement. So another big, stupid flower arrangement, most people don't really take note. Except for one specific member of the wedding whose name is Wellworth Throvington III, who comes up behind you and says, "My dear fellow, what are you doing? Why, that garish, bawdy, but delightful flower arrangement was quite nice. Are you replacing it with another one?" He is not distracted by the August rooster. "I've seen a million August roosters in my days," he says.
Yes, Wellworth. I'm creating one with love. I say very
Oh.
nonchalantly.
"With love, you say? Well, may I prune it with love, then?" And he takes out some hedge clippers that he's had on his person, I guess.
Bernardi just keeps keeps casting plant growth. He doesn't really care about Wellworth right now.
Oh, well, then I'll just tidy it up a bit. And he starts hedge clipping it. And actually, with his help, it looks a lot cleaner and nicer. You have to admit. It doesn't look overgrown whatsoever or wild. It looks clean. We make an excellent team, you and I, Bernardi. I think I may have an apprenticeship coming up if you're looking for any additional work.
Bernardi just waddles away. Doesn't.
Think about it, he says as you waddle away.
Bernardi does do a little druid craft, and a little flower pops up onto Wellworth's hat for helping him.
He was a bowler. He takes it out and puts it on his lapel. Look what I have, he says to Moo. And Moo just kind of rolls his eyes because Moo's got plenty of flowers. Right? This guy's got one, whatever. Okay, so both of our lizard folks, did you put them in the same room, Vera? Was that the plan, to like trap them in the same room?
I definitely put them in the same room.
Okay.
And but before letting them out of the things that they have trapped themselves in,
Yes.
I would like to go find Reptuliat.
So you wheel you bring the plant into the room with the ice sculpture, and when you put it down, the ice sculpture goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the plant goes, and they're kind of talking to each other, but again, it's all really muffled, and you can't really understand them. You can't imagine that they can understand each other. They're not listening. They're not listening to each other. They're not being open and honest. This is poor communication, which does not make for a good relationship. In this case, a familial one, which is also very important.
Actually,
Okay.
seeing this, Vera will actually stand in between the two of them and just be tapping her foot, waiting to see if they stop.
They don't. They continue. They're just kind of like yelling at each other at this point.
As
And,
they continue, she pulls out one of her spears from this. I'm assuming they're in a storage room,
yes.
and just knocks the butt of it against each of
Roar.
the things.
Roar.
It's like, both of you told me that the key to a good relationship, or the most important thing in any relationship, is communication and listening, and you're doing neither of those things right now. So if you want me to let you out, and if you want me to use my access to Reptuliat to maybe get you a conversation with her, then you need to sort your own crap out first.
It's quiet acceptance, embarrassed acceptance, even at your words.
Vera will just kind of roll her eyes and break open the ice sculpture.
Yeah. You, again, using your nature abilities, you can tell if I hit this spot very carefully, then it'll it just cracks and crumbles.
Cut cork free from his flowery prison.
Yeah, they're both like smeared in like a gelatin to keep them. One's like not cold because of that, because he was in the ice, and the other one's not like covered in thorns and stuff. And they're like, "Yeah, you're right." We should
Also, clean yourself
just
up.
talk. Yeah, we should do that too. We're gross. We're gross and gunky.
Talk, and I will go speak with Reptuliat and see if she wishes to speak to you.
Yes.
Before the wedding.
Yes. Great. So
He walks off.
Yes. You go back outside. Thule, you're back inside at the bar, or?
Yeah, I'm making those cocktails.
Okay, yeah. The groom is also there. His name is, of course, Kobold. And he is coming to you and ordering drinks too often, one might say. Too much. Reptuliat is not present. She's in the back still. But yeah, Kobold is getting, you can tell with your bartender days, getting a little too tipsy, one might say.
Oh, getting those pre-wedding jitters?
Yeah, Reptiliad is wonderful, but there's a lot of people here, kings here. Just want to do good by him.
Yeah. Yeah. Then if you really want to do good by him and do good by Reptiliad, perhaps you should have some water.
Everything tastes like water at this point. Nah.
Are you excited for this wedding?
Yeah. You make me an insight check.
Insight check. Scrolling. It's in alphabetical order. 18.
Yeah, so he definitely seems nervous in that you get the sense that he feels pressured. He mentions his father, who actually comes over to him and says, son, this my son. He will be married, and our family will finally have the relationship with the lizard folk that kobolds need. He is the future of our families intermingling with the lizard folk, and then we will have a strong alliance, kobolds and lizard folk, finally. And together our two peoples will be stronger. We will become one people. All thanks to this, my son, Kobaris. And he squeezes him on the shoulder. And the Kobaris is like, yeah, I love Julia. I love her. She's important to kobolds, and I like them. Yeah, he does not seem super thrilled with everything.
Okay. Does the father stay?
No, he has that very important exposition-filled speech, and then he walks back off to mingle with other people.
Well, so your heart's just not into this, is it?
Maybe not.
No. Is there another way that, you can secure relations with the lizard folk without marriage? Like a good treaty.
A good treaty? Yeah, a trade treaty would be nice. They have all the poisons we want, and we have all the honey they want.
Well, there you go. That's something you can think about. So are you aware of previous suitors Reptiliad had?
I've heard rumors about two cousins whose names rhyme, but I don't know the first letters of their names. But yes, I've heard that they're somewhere in Zobeck and they're doing seedy things, but I've not met them.
Oh, does Reptiliad not like
them? Whenever they get brought up, she looks off into the distance and tells me that that's a story for another time. And I keep trying to get her to tell me about it, but she won't.
Oh. Well, I see. Well, you could step up and say, hey, look, trade agreements are the way to go. Or you can get married and possibly be miserable for the rest of your life.
Yeah, when you said, why don't you go ahead and give me a persuasion check on that one? Because that's a big, it's a big, oh boy. Yeah, oh boy. Okay. Did you use did I give you inspiration earlier, right? I meant to when you were running away from the geese.
All right. 6.
Okay, 6. You roll performance the second time? Does it matter?
Oh, whoops, sorry. It doesn't matter. They're both
charisma,
one.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, his face just turns completely white at that. And maybe failure is a good thing in this case. And he says, maybe you should focus on just serving drinks. And then, stomps off.
Oh, you didn't have a drink yet. Would you like your water?
No, he says. And he grabs a flute of champagne from the food cart where a bunch of them have been set up.
Oh, dear.
Delphina, you are hibachiing still. You are also hearing discussions from kobolds and lizard folk nonchalantly about how it seems like the groom is nervous and drinking a lot more than one would think he should.
Is it busy at the hibachi, or is this?
I mean, the novelty of it kind of wears off,
Okay, yeah.
Initially, everyone's all excited for the macaroni and cheese bar.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, yeah, I can't eat this much macaroni and cheese. It's
Yeah.
going to make me sick.
Right.
Hibachi's not macaroni and cheese, but that's basically what's happening. It was cute at first. Now I want crab I want crab dip or whatever.
All right, it's break time. All right, good job, Ralphie. I'll give Ralph probably like a good cut of the meat that's left over. It's like,
oh, he's delighted.
It's break time. And I'll go to the bar and just like see if Thule knows anything.
Oh,
God, it's break time finally. Oh, they just keep wanting. They just keep wanting the volcano. It's all the time.
well,
Let's break
it's
time.
quite impressive. Well, would you like a coffee?
They don't have. Give me a seltzer. I have mine.
Oh yeah, not a problem. I have lime, lemon, or orange. It's all citrus here.
You know what? Put the lemon in there.
All right.
And just like Delphine just takes out her little like canteen and just pours like a little bit of blood in there. There we go. Oh, it's very good. How's it going out here?
Oh, it's great. I think I upset the groom.
Oh, there's been a lot of talk about the groom. Like,
Yeah, the groom. I don't think he really wants to get married. He's also pretty drunk.
I was gonna say what gives you that idea, but usually being heavily drunk on your wedding day is not a good sign.
No. He's doing it for the families, apparently. Treaties. I don't really understand why you have to marry to have a treaty. That doesn't make much sense to me. It's just a bunch of words on a piece of paper.
That's weird. I guess it's to, solidify it, but marriages can be like easily broken sometimes. But this might be more convenient. Maybe we should talk. We should get the others.
Ooh,
Vera.
meeting.
Yeah. So, did you go try and find Reptuliet, or what was your plan?
Well, since I stayed longer and talked to the brothers instead and told them to smarten the hell up, I imagine I would kind of be walking back through the restaurant
Okay.
on my way to speak with Reptulia.
And you hear you hear amongst the mumbling orc, you hear those three letters being repeated more and more by lizard folk as you walk past them.
Noted.
Okay, and Bernardi, what are you doing?
Bernardi shows up with the August Rooster.
Are you riding the August Rooster?
No,
Oh, okay.
just leading the August Rooster.
Yeah, it's still prancing.
Yeah.
Fancily prancing. Wait, fancy prancing? Is that called fancing? We'll think this is a conversation for later, and it will happen. Yeah. So, yeah, you can just let it go, and it'll go off and distract everyone and dance and stuff while you have a conversation, the four of you.
So he walks up to Delphina and he puts up a little high five and it's like, "Wow, I didn't know you could cook like that."
Well, it's a lot of cutting. It's a lot of things. It's mostly knife skills, doing some things. I'm not entirely sure if I cooked the meat all the way, but no one seemed to care. Everyone was pretty drunk.
Does Delphina know that Cork and Bork were in the ice statues and stuff? Okay. So Thule, where'd you put the ice statue? And is Vera here, or is Vera?
Yeah, Vera's there.
Okay.
Feeding treats to the August rooster before it goes off.
In the back room.
Okay. So
Fine.
the two brothers or cousins are in the back room.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That one
Where-
got free of the ice, right? Then just
Yeah, I let them
okay.
both out.
It seemed like a bad idea.
They've agreed to talk to each other. They were properly ashamed, it seems. So they're cleaning up and talking their problems out, hopefully.
So, Barry, the bride, right?
Yes. Yeah. Apparently we've become friends.
So there is been more than a little evidence, including a very drunk groom. The groom is not into it.
Did I, in my time hanging out with Reptuliet, did I
Mhm.
get the sense that she was excited for this wedding?
You got the sense that she was excited to be in a wedding, like just the fanfare and the like excitement of a wedding. But whenever you mentioned Kobaris, she just kind of like would change the subject.
Okay. Yeah, I get this. I've gotten the sense over the past like week or few months that Reptulia isn't really into, definitely not into the groom, into
That's
the procession of a wedding and the event of it all. But yeah, I was actually going to go talk to her and see if I could quickly get her alone with these two cousins so that maybe they can all talk their stuff out before the wedding.
Oh, that's really soon. We better hurry.
because
Yeah.
the situation's gotten a lot more complicated real fast. You should think of those party crashers. Now there's treaties and there's like bride and groom who don't seem to want to get married.
Yeah. Yeah, well, better to call off the wedding now than to, well, like,
Oh.
if that's what they want, but we really shouldn't be making those decisions for them, right? Like, it's not our wedding.
No, it's not
No.
our life. That's their decisions that they have to make.
But they should go into it fully informed, I
Yes.
suppose.
I also think Cleef would have a heart attack if we said
We
the
do
wedding.
not tell Cleef.
Yeah. Let's just keep Cleve out of this.
I heard Cleef just yelling, "I'm Cleef," and that usually means very, 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 very stressed. So
Yeah.
let the poor man be.
I would be inclined to agree with you.
Does anybody know where the groom went?
Oh, just follow the drunk man with the champagne.
And sure enough,
Oh,
there's a
no.
drunk man with a champagne, and it's the groom. You find him pretty quickly with your eyes. He's trying to climb on top of the August Rooster and ride it.
Oh, he's gonna die.
So
Well,
I'll go get
you
the,
should
the
stop,
groom.
Bernard. You should stop him before there is no groom left.
I'll go get the groom.
No, the
Bear,
August
you-
Rooster's into it. He thinks it's fun. So,
Bear, you
but-
go get the Reptulia, and we'll meet wherever Thule put these cousins.
Oh, they're in the back storeroom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
Okay.
I have any trouble getting this drunk man off of my August Rooster?
Do you have any trouble? Let's roll a die to determine if you have any trouble. On a 1, he realizes that this is silly. What am I doing? It's my wedding day, and tries to get down. On a 2, he's like, no, this is my wedding day. I do what I want. I want to ride the August Rooster.
Oh my
Wonderful.
god!
It's my wedding. I get to do what I want. I'm riding this pretty big bird.
If he's on the
I
August
love
Rooster,
this.
I'll just lead.
I love this.
I'll just lead him like while he's riding.
Yeah, he's still like, I'm on the August Rooster. It's my wedding. I can do what I want. I want to ride the bird. And he pets the bird. The bird likes me, and I like the bird, and we're best friends now. And I'm going to buy the bird from you.
Best
How much
man.
do you want for the bird? He's just like rambling on and on as you slowly lead him out. The August Rooster follows you, your best friends, and you take him to a remote or out of the way spot. It's up to you.
Oh, I take him to the back storeroom where the fork and cork are.
Oh, you take him back there too?
We're gonna have a whole
Yeah,
affair.
everyone's
my
gonna
goodness.
everyone's going.
They need to hash it out.
Yeah.
All right. For simplicity's sake, and so Rudy doesn't have to talk to himself as 4 different characters, When you get there, Bork and Cork have already hashed it out. You walk in as they're giving each other the classic lizard folk handshake. That clearly means that they're the closest of buddies again. And Reptuliet enters, and someone got hurt too, right? I'm sorry, Vera.
Yeah, I went. Vera went to get. Reptuliet.
She's like, "Oh my goodness!" and she rushes forward and hugs both of them, and then they start talking. And then the August Rooster comes in with Cabarrus on its back, and he's like, this is my new best friend, Birdie. He's my Birdie. Oh, what is happening? My wife is hugging two other lizard persons. Who are you? What are you doing?
She's not your wife yet. You haven't been married. You're very drunk.
I don't want to get married.
I kind of guessed that too.
Straightforwardness has made me realize that I want to get married. I just want to go on adventures with my bird friend.
And Delphina just looks at it like, it's
outpouring of drunken emotion brings everyone to tears. And they all have a very deep heart-to-heart and come to an agreement about what to do. And Bork and Cork have worked out that Cork is more deserving of her love, and they have decided that they will continue. Okay, I'm trying to think about it as the wedding will not continue, and they'll do it in a diplomatic way that no one will be upset and nothing bad will happen to the restaurant. The restaurant will not be blamed. And they come out and they communicate with the entire audience clearly. They answer any questions that might be had. They listen back to what people say. The father of the groom is pretty upset by this, and he acknowledges the importance of not getting married if you don't love each other, but at the same time expresses his own disappointments and how this was going to be a greater thing. And then the trade agreement is offered up as a recompense or an alternative, and he is accepting of that. It is very informative, and you're all pretty impressed by how understanding all these kobolds and lizard folk are. Kobolds, they can be pretty great. And the king comes forward and says, yes, now this is my second time here in the restaurant, which was once called, oh boy, what was it called at the start of the campaign?
Slice of Sketty.
Slice of Sketty. Then it was called the Cheese Ballroom. Then it was called Boiled. And now it is
the Mount Ushroom.
Mount Ushroom, of course. How can one forget? Clearly, there's something going on here that's greater than the name. There is a sense of family, a sense of fun, a sense of something special that makes this restaurant more than just a restaurant. And I, King Kettlemeck, have already declared that this food is good. But now I declare that this restaurant is good as well. And there's applause, and Cleef tears up, and Raymundina puts her arm around him, and he says, Your words are very kind, but it's not just me. It's all of my staff. They're what makes this restaurant so special. And I love each and every one of them, and without them, we wouldn't be what we are. Come here. And then he reaches his arms out, and you all come together in a big hug. And that's the end of Order Up. Hooray! Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Dot, for accepting my weird campaign pitch. Thank you, players. This has been so much fun. I'm so happy to play with all of you and to meet a few of you. So let's go around one more time. Everybody, what are you up to on the internet? Where can people find you online? Let's start with me. My name is Rudy Basso. You can find me on Twitter at Rudy Basso. I produce a 5e actual play podcast called Dames and Dragons about teenage adventurers who just want to do teenager things but are thrown into saving the world, essentially. So please do check that out at damesanddragons.com. Danny, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
Hello, my name is Danny. You can find me all over the internet at Danny Plays Games. I am super sad this is going to be over. I enjoyed playing with y'all, and that was absolutely amazing. I never thought I would marry an actual mushroom in this game. Well, we didn't get married officially, but you can find me on Wednesdays on Off the Table. We're going to start up our second season of a Monster of the Week campaign called The Burn Bunch. And then also this Friday, we will have our finale on Nomadic's channel of Ursa Major, a Starfinder campaign of Uplifted Bears. And then you can also find me randomly streaming on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BrutalDan.
Autumn, what are you up to? Where can people find you online?
Hello, I am Autumn Graves. You can find me basically anywhere at Autumn V Graves. As far as like internet things go, with this being over, which also, yes, very sad. It has been an amazing time. I don't really have much on the go. I've got school, work. Occasionally I write about the things that I learned in school though, because I happen to be in culinary school. The website that used to be Food Absolutely is kind of undergoing a rebranding right now, so you'll be able to find me at Smoke and Harvest. But just if you follow my personal Twitter, that's where I normally live, yelling about food and tabletop RPGs and all that good stuff.
Nice. Victoria, where can people find you online? What are you up to right now?
Hello. You can find me at Mimi Merlot on Twitter. And you can find me here with Kobold Press because I am the social media and customer service manager here. And you'll probably see me on things in the future here. But until then, you can find me on the podcast, The Broadswords.
Nice. Broadswords. And Lynn, where can people find you online? What are you up to right now?
Hey, I'm Lynn. I'm Flying Cirrus on Twitter, Twitch, and place else. Have my art there, and I am playing in a variety of tabletop games, including Urban Shadows and Blaze in the Dark. And I also stream on my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Flying Cirrus, where there's Gundam and various video games. And I had such a fun time. This is great. Thanks for having me and being able to play with y'all.
Thank you all once again for playing with me. A lot of what we drew from for this campaign was from the Zobeck Gazetteer, which was written by James Hake, which you can, I don't know if I said that right, Gazetteer, I don't know, which you can find at koboldpress.com, along with so many other excellent 5th edition products. So once again, thank you, Dot, our producer, for doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And thank you, Danny, Autumn, Lynn, Victoria, and Bernardi, Vera, Delphina, and Thule. I'm Rudy Basso, and that's it for Order Up. Bye!